So, a couple of questions that we'll get often during an initial phone call are, what happens if I don't have any money right now? Or how am I supposed to pay for your services? These are tough questions to answer because they're always different for everybody's situation. But a couple of things that you should think about um, as to whether you can afford an attorney, whether you need an attorney, or what it looks like to hire an attorney for a bankruptcy case are, what is it going to be like if I don't hire an attorney? Do I know anything about what the potential pitfalls or downsides of filing bankruptcy by myself or with a petition preparer might be? Am I going to be prepared to talk with the bankruptcy trustee when it's time to talk with that person? Am I going to have any idea what to do or how to answer questions beyond just answering truthfully, which is what you're required to do? And ultimately, not having money at the moment that you go in to meet with a bankruptcy attorney can be a hurdle, but there are ways to get over that. So, for example, if you don't have any money because you've been paying all of your creditors or trying to pay your creditors, whether it's trying to pay various different medical bills as money comes in and you're able to, or trying to make, at least minimum payments on your credit cards, those payment amounts, after you've decided to file bankruptcy, generally aren't things that you should concern yourself with. And that would give you a way to save up enough money to file a bankruptcy case. There are differences, at least in the district I practice in, which is the Western District of Michigan, between what amount of money is required in different offices to file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy as an individual versus a Chapter 7 bankruptcy as an individual. In Chapter 7s, usually you need to have all of your fees paid to the attorney up front before they will do any work for you. In a Chapter 13, many of the payments can be made for attorney's fees over time during your plan. So oftentimes, the initial payment that's required for a Chapter 13 might be a little bit less than the initial payment that's required for a Chapter 7. If you have certain assets that maybe aren't protected by exemptions, after you talk to an attorney, your attorney might suggest that you sell one of those assets. Let's say it is a utility trailer or something like that you could sell, you could live without for a little while and use that money to pay the attorney to get your debt taken care of. So perhaps you can save money to buy a replacement trailer after the bankruptcy is filed. Other options, some attorneys will allow you to pay the fees over a period of time. Many of us do not allow that, and there's reasons for not allowing that. But if an attorney allows you to pay over time, you can pay a certain amount of money each month or when you have it in order to get to a point where you can file. I personally don't like doing that. And the reason I don't like doing that is my advice to a client on a specific date deals with their situation at that time. And the further from that point in time we get, the more your situation may change, may become more complicated, and maybe my advice won't be as good by the time you've finished paying. And I'll have to tell you, you need to do something else now. You don't want to be in that position, and I don't want to be in that position. But there are people out there, there are attorneys out there who will take payments over time. Our busiest time of the year is almost always between mid-February and late April for filing new cases. And the reason for that is lots and lots and lots of people use part or all of their tax refund to pay their attorney's fees to file bankruptcy. That is another source if you, on a month to month basis, don't have money to get enough money to file your case. With that said, whether you have money to set aside to file a case and to pay an attorney, or you don't really have knowledge that's required to make a decision until you meet with a good bankruptcy attorney. So even if you don't have money, my strongest suggestion to you is, if you believe a bankruptcy might be in your best interest, contact an attorney. Go meet with that attorney and his or her staff. Figure out what it is about your situation that allows them to give you certain advice. Try to understand why. And then you can make a decision about how to get the money. But at least then you're making a decision that's informed, instead of kind of making a decision with a whole lot of questions about what happens if.